Dave Sess, and Teresa Weekly on WKBN 27 First News, where your news comes first in high definition.
All eyes are on Ohio as we count down the hours until Americans elect the next president of the United States.
Republican candidate for vice president Paul Ryan made several last-minute campaign stops today, including an evening rally at Winter Aviation in Vienna. That's where we go live now to Jerry Ricciuti.
Good evening from the regional airport in Vienna, where if you look behind me, you can see the American flag and the Ohio State banner still hanging in the Winter Aviation hangar there, where Paul Ryan spoke about an hour and a half ago. He arrived here at the airport about 9:30, a few minutes later than he was expected to. He arrived with his wife Jana and their 3 young children. A crowd of about 1,500 plus was here, loud, enthusiastic for them when they arrived. He talked about his time in Ohio, going to college, where he went to the University of Miami down in Oxford. He also used the time to encourage the crowd to make sure they get to the polls tomorrow, giving them a brief idea of what to expect if things turn out their way.
We understand that we can do a lot better than we are now, and we understand that at a moment like this, we need leadership. And the great thing about this moment is the man and the moment are meeting so well, because the kind of leader we need is the kind that is going to be elected president in one day, and his name is Mitt Romney.
At one point, Congressman Ryan also used the opportunity to chastise President Obama for something he said at another Ohio stop over the weekend, where he told the crowd there to vote, saying it was the best form of revenge. Ryan reminded the crowd that they should be voting for their country, not for revenge. He also talked about Mitt Romney's experience as a businessman and the governor of Massachusetts, where he worked for both Republicans and Democrats to some success. Of course, we'll be waiting to see how this all turns out tomorrow. In just a short matter of hours, the polls will be opening in both Ohio and Pennsylvania. The last check of the polls showed a dead-even heat across the country and dead even here in Ohio and Pennsylvania. Hopefully by this time tomorrow night, we'll have a sense of who might have won the race. Reporting live in Vienna, I'm Jerry Ricciuti. Now back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Jerry. Now, earlier today, in response to Paul Ryan's visit, Congressman Tim Ryan also making a final push for President Obama.
Now, he joined with the top reps from several labor unions. They wanted to point out how they believe President Obama has helped Youngstown and the Mahoning Valley, mainly focusing on the auto bailout plan.
We as a community, as a labor community, are coming together today to solely and forcefully endorse President Barack Obama for our next president. Because, if you remember, Mitt Romney said, "Let Detroit go bankrupt."
And Ohio was the only state visited by both President Obama and Mitt Romney today.
The election, of course, is tomorrow, but thousands of people have already cast their ballots in Ohio hours before the polls open. Early voting is now over, and let's look at the line today, wrapping around several rooms in the Mahoning County Board of Elections. So far, thousands more people in the Valley have voted early in this election compared to 2008.
The absentee ballots are the first ones counted, first ones released on election night. So at 7:30, the public get to see the absentee vote, not only by mail, but the ones that voted in person as well.
If you requested an absentee ballot and did not return it by mail or in person, you can still vote. You just have to go to your polling place tomorrow. However, you will have to cast a provisional ballot. Boards of election have 10 days to count those. If you're waiting until tomorrow, here are the voting hours. Ohio, 6:30 to 7:30, and Pennsylvania, 7 a.m. until 8 p.m.
Voting machines in Mahoning County have been tested and they're ready to go. They usually run a test right before the election to make sure everything is scanning and counting the votes properly. Election officials say all the machines at the poll locations have also been tested and are ready for tomorrow.
We have an equal number of Republican and Democratic poll workers at every poll. We have no call-offs at this point. We're very lucky about that. And I think everything's going to go smoothly. Our machines are 100%, and we're voting on paper ballots, which we like a lot.
All right, there were no reported problems during this morning's test. Tune in to WKBN 27 tomorrow night for local and state election results. Updates twice each hour. You can find the specific race you're looking for at WKBN.com and a complete wrap of election night, 11 o'clock here on 27 First News.
Going to be a busy night, but a fun night.
Yeah. Let's see how the weather's shaping up for your voting tomorrow. Here's Don.
No problems, no excuses. Can't blame the weather for not getting out to vote tomorrow. Might be some clouds left over in the morning, but as the day wears on, get back to some serious sunshine. We haven't seen much of that actually for over a week, other than maybe a couple of peaks of it by Saturday, this past Saturday afternoon. And here's why. Let's look outside. Weather graphics. Lots of clouds around. There's a shot from downtown Youngstown at this point in time, and there's the cloud cover. Gradually getting smaller and smaller, but most of the work is still to be done over in western Pennsylvania. We will eventually see some sunshine tomorrow, and warmer temps still looking good for later this week. Full story about that coming up in a few minutes.
And we have not forgotten about the victims of Hurricane Sandy 1 week after it made landfall. The cleanup continues in New York and New Jersey, and here in the Valley, volunteers with the Red Cross are hoping that you'll help. They are accepting financial donations. They've raised about $5,000 so far. The goal is $100,000 for storm relief. Because the Red Cross is not government funded, all of the donations will go directly to the victims of the storm.
These folks that are without power, they need our immediate assistance, but it takes resources. This is a very generous, caring community, and I just get goosebumps because our phones haven't stopped, and continuous stream of people in the door because they know their dollars are going to make a difference.
If you're wondering where you can help, we have a list of locations on our website in this area that we know of that are spearheading donation efforts. Here's what we have coming up next. Plans moving forward in neighboring Lawrence County for a $750 million power plant. We'll have the details from tonight's public meeting.
Later in sports, a visit with the Hubbard Eagles, who are soaring in the Week 12 of the high school football playoffs. Here are tonight's winning lottery numbers. We'll be right back.